Hey Emily, so I'm doing another video, and though it is Wednesday, I don't really have any science per se. I know it's been a while, but it's almost been a year since we graduated. I mean, it's so much, it's like a week off for you and like a couple weeks off for me. But that's something to be like, wow. And so I want to, I guess, take this time and look back of how much has happened over this past year. And maybe you can do the same if you have a free moment. Number uno, we freaking graduated, so that's really cool. Some things that I was planning on doing didn't work out, but other things happened instead. Like, I got a really awesome internship at a nature center, and now I'm doing this. It's interesting to think about what has led me to this point and just time in general and how much can happen in a very short amount of time, or how a lot of nothing can happen in, 3 or 4 months. What's happened in your year? How have you grown? I feel like one thing I'm noticing now that I've been out of school, in more of the real world, I have noticed that you go to college and you learn a certain set of skills, but you're still learning fundamental aspects of it and basics, or you have more advanced studies in it, but it's still learning. It's not really doing per se. But then you get out there and you're actually doing what you learned, whether it was some kind of capacity building and organization that you did with a club or what you learned for your major. And it's totally, completely different. And something that I've been learning in this time that I've been a little over 2 months here now, and the one thing that hit me earlier this week when there was a canoe fiasco that went on with a float trip that I'm helping to organize is that you think you know what to do, you think you know how to handle certain things, with the, like I said before, the past training that you had, but the honest truth is that you don't know anything until you actually do it. And I guess with this, it applies so heavily because I thought that I had a basic understanding of how to deal with people in your organization, or how to just handle projects or a lot of work or whatever, just a myriad of tasks. And then it is different when you're in another place with new people and new everything. It is very, very difficult to immediately apply those skills of what you learned in college or any other school setting, any other kind of classroom setting. But yeah, I think that I knew this before, but it's becoming even more clear how pertinent real life experience is, because you could go to school your whole life. You could just be learning and learning and learning books your whole life, but unless you apply your book knowledge and classroom knowledge to the outside world and to the people who it actually affects, because you're included in that group of people who's affected, you're not really doing anything. You have to go beyond. Why are you spending all that time learning if you're not going to apply it? So yeah, I guess I've learned about applied knowledge and how meaningful it is. And I also had this epiphany the other day that I'm really not ready to go back to school, and I want more outside experience. And as one of my friends said, it makes it so much more meaningful to know who you're targeting and to see the activist side of it, like the other side of it, the people side of it, and then go back to school and study more and say, how can I help these people, or how can I make this situation better? So I think that that's something that I'm going to really benefit from this year. And even though not so, I've come across a lot of struggles, and it's been really tough. I mean, the first 2 months anywhere I go, like the first 2 months of college, for example, were awful. I mean, they were hard and they were bad. Just I think that's true for everyone, really. So I'm glad I made it through the first 2 months, and I'm glad that I'm still here and I'm still trying, and I'm a very persistent person, so I'm going to keep trying and I'm going to keep doing everything I can to make this year awesome. So I joined Pottermore, and then I was really excited because I was getting through like getting my wand and getting all my books and stuff. And then I got to the part where you answer those ridiculous questions like, what drink do you want to drink? And that decides if you're like whatever house, which I thought was pretty silly. And you know what house I got into? Well, I'm not going to say because it's not the one I should have been put into, but all I can say, which just totally gives it away, is that I'm a particularly good finder. You graduate and it's done, and you really don't ever revisit those thoughts or people or ideas again, and yet there are lasting things that take you through life.